My Pokè Peeps, we're back today, and today I've got something a little bit special. We're going to be doing my favorite Pokemon of Generation 4, the Sinnoh region. So, let's get started. Alright guys, so kicking it off with our favorite grass type was Roserade. Sorry, I'm typing without the keyboard where I'm usually got it. So Roserade was a pretty awesome Pokemon. Super strong, super reliable, cool moves. Looks bloody cool. It's also got a very cool shiny, and it was actually one of my favorite 6 from Generation 4. So we're going to be putting that in my number 1 spot there. It's not necessarily my favorite Pokemon of all time in Generation 4, but it's up there in the top 6. Alright, so for my favorite fire type Pokemon, it has to be Infernape. Such a cool Pokemon, looks epic, great moves, great attacks, great stats in general. Yes, it was firefighting, but I didn't care. It was such an awesome Pokemon. Really loved Infernape. Unfortunately for me, water type Pokemon are usually my favorite. In Generation 4, there weren't really many good water type Pokemon. There were a couple, but none that really stood out. I did put Gastrodon as mine. I'd probably go with this form. I think that's the South form. It was just a little bit more fun. So yeah, Gastrodon, he's on there. He's on there somehow, but he's there. My favorite normal type for Generation 4 has to be Porygon Z. It was just so strong. That adaptability just made it insane to use in competitive, and it got a fairly wide range of moves. Particularly with the Z transform, I think it was. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, you'd turn into a ghost type and then you'd be all sorts of... So Porygon, favorite normal type, Generation 4. Now if you've been following me for a while, this next one probably won't come as a shock, but it's gonna be Electivire. I just love the design. I think it looks so cool. I think it looks strong. I think I just think it's an amazing Pokemon. I really enjoy the design, and I used to love running it in competitive. Even though it wasn't overly amazing Pokemon stat-wise, it was really fun to use. So it's going to be on my list of top 6 favorites. There he is down the bottom there. Generation 4 also had a number of really cool legendary Pokemon, one of which was Azelf. I have to put him in here. I think it was just, its design was sleek and smooth and just looks sweet and cute, and like it's not possibly going to hurt anyone, but when you're using it in competitive, it can either be a Stealth Rock setter or an all-out suicide lead. It was such a fun Pokemon to use. With fighting type, I did have a little bit of a moral dilemma. Initially, I wanted to have Heatran as my favorite fire type, and then have Infernape as my favorite fighting type, but I couldn't help but go past Lucario for my favorite fighting type. I think it's got a really fun design, and I plan on making a bit of a team around it with the new rule set. I think it'll do pretty well. In Generation 4, they did something that I found amazing, and that was incorporating a lot of old Pokemon with new evolutionary methods. And personally, that was insanely awesome. It really added to the game. It allowed me to bring Pokemon from previous games up the generations and not just play with them, but evolve them and make them into something new and different. A Pokemon that I remember doing that with was my Rhyperior. Again, it looks cool. It was super strong. It wasn't necessarily the best Pokemon, but its design alone puts it on this list for me. I feel like my favorite ground type Pokemon is one that most people can agree with, and that's going to be Garchomp. I don't know how people could go past this as being one of their favorites. Look at it. It's just that sand dragon, sand shark, crazy looking thing. Super strong, super fast, great movesets, great abilities. It was just such an insane Pokemon, and I love it so much. Which is why it gets to be on my top 6. Flying type was another typing that seemed to be a little bit missed in Generation 4. Although I do really like Drifbloom. It was unfortunately one of my first random encounter shinies in Pokemon Pearl. Way back when I first got the game, I believe I was just doing some item hunting with a party of Linoons, and a shiny Drifloon appeared. I was so excited, so ready to catch it. I was trying to attack it down without killing it, and then out of nowhere, it exploded, and it was gone forever. So, a little bit of a bittersweet memory there, but it was a good one nonetheless. The Sinnoh region was also home to some of my least favorite bug-type Pokemon, which unfortunately left me with Vespiquen. I think it's a cool idea, and I think it's a cool Pokemon. I really think it could have used a G-Max form, or potentially another evolution. I don't know, it just needs something to become a better Pokemon. I think it's got a really good design, and I like the attack and the defend order, but it just didn't amount to enough for me personally. Now, some Pokemon made it onto this list purely because of their ability and their fighting skills. Others made it on purely because of their look. One Pokemon such was Toxicroak. If it wants to load, yeah, I think it looks insane. I love it. I really dig the design. Again, I wish its stats were just a little bit better so it was more user-friendly and competitive. I do remember using it a little bit in VGC as a counter to Xerneas and who was it? I think it was Choice Scarfed, Water Spouting, Kyogre. So yeah, Toxicroak did get a little bit of use, but I feel like if it had just slightly better stats, it would have been insane. In the Sinnoh region, there weren't a ton of Dark-type Pokemon to choose from, but one that I am happy to put on this list was Drapion. Again, I think it's a great design, an interesting typing, and again, it just needed a slight buff in some of its stats to make it a little bit more competitively viable, but its design alone just puts it on this list. Now, for my favorite ghost type, it has to go to Dusknoir, purely because of, like I said before, having one in previous games and being able to transform it into something new in a new generation. Before, Dusknoir used to be this just completely defensive blob of a thing that you couldn't kill and had no chance of getting past. And then Dusknoir came out and it became more physically viable, and it started getting all of the elemental punches and Earthquake and Shadow Sneak. And it started to look like it could have been a physical sweeper as well, or at least have some physical presence on a team. So I really love that aspect of it. So Dusknoir, my favorite ghost type in the Sinnoh region. And for that, it goes on to my top 6. My favorite ice type was so easy to pick. I don't think I even had to think about it. It was going to be Weavile from the start, hands down. I think it is one of the sickest designs of a Pokemon. It looks so cheeky, it looks so sneaky. I just love it as a Pokemon. Yes, it's frail, yes, it's a glass cannon, but look at that design. How could you go past it? And purely being that awesome has put it on my top 6. The Sinnoh region gave us some interesting Pokemon, and I think Bronzong was one of them. I think it was an interesting design, being a bellow Pokemon. I probably wouldn't rank it up there in my favorites for Steel type Pokemon, but out of Dialga and itself, it definitely got my pick. I think it's an interesting Pokemon, and I did used to use it a lot. Although I hated its look, it was pretty damn destructive in UU for ages there, having either heat proof or levitate. You sort of played those mind games with people, and it turned out to be, yeah, a really great Pokemon competitively, even if it wasn't the best looking. I usually don't like to include legendaries in these lists, purely on the basis that most of them do look pretty epic. But for dragon type Pokemon, I definitely had to say Palkia. Look at it. just look at it. It's such a cool Pokemon. I don't know how many people could go past it. There's been some images that I've seen of it that just look so godlike and just epic. So I had to put it on the lips. It's got an interesting typing as well, but yeah, it's designed flawless. I haven't really had a chance to use it much, and unfortunately the VGC rule set have changed or is changing on the 1st of May, so I probably won't get a chance to use it in the current. I might go back and try it in the Series 7, but yeah, if we're moving forward, probably won't get a chance. Unless I'm just playing around by myself. And last but certainly not least is my favorite fairy type of the Sinnoh region, and that has to be Togekiss. A Pokemon that is not shy of the VGC stage and has had so much competitive use over the years. Chuck a berry on it, chuck follow me, and you've just got this insane Pokemon. The Super Lux sets were getting more and more use as we move through VGC. Not as common now, but I think it's going to be coming back with the new rule set change. I think it's got one of the best designs as well from fairy type Pokemon. I don't know why, I just really enjoy it, and I've made it one of my favorite top 6 of Generation 4. Alright guys, so there we are. There's my favorite Pokemon of each type for Generation 4, the Sinnoh region. Alrighty guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. If you did enjoy today's video, check out some of my others. I'm sure you'll like them just as much. Anyways, bye!